Does anyone who has a cat have a best, weird, most embarrassing cat-related story?
We've done that as well.
It's $20 per person, but an extra 10 if you don't tell the concussion story.
So what's your second best story?
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that challenge must have been submitted by either my husband or
Correct.
by Mia, who was there at the time.
It was definitely submitted by Eric.
So what's your second best story?
I'm trying to think.
I think Tabby had one there as well.
Yeah?
It was more embarrassing for the cat.
That's fine.
Okay.
Please.
So,
I want to know how a cat can ever be embarrassed.
well, my one cat, Digit, sometimes if she eats too fast, she has to throw up. Like, she'll throw up. And so she made the sound. It was just like, that sound every cat owner knows. And my other cat, Max, so I feed my cats raw food. And so Max is a garbage gut, so he'll eat and eat and eat. He heard the sound from wherever he was in the house. And he flew like he landed from the moon and headbutt Digit in the middle of her throwing up, so it landed right on his own head. And then he freaked out and ran off, and then I had to clean up the mess.
What?
So he was very embarrassed. I think.
What was he attempting to accomplish?
He wanted
with
to
the
eat.
headbutt?
He wanted to eat the food that she was going to throw up.
Oh, and he was just a little too overzealous.
Yeah, and he hit headbutt her, and then it just landed on his head, and then yeah.
Yeah, normally I consider food I touch to be still food, and then things that are on me not to be food anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
can relate.
He was embarrassed. He hid. He didn't know what happened. So. I think I have another one too, but you go ahead.
It's a very not concussion-related story.
Sure.
When I was younger, I had a cat named Tribble, and Tribble loved me so much, and she was this beautiful calico cat. I had her through most of junior high and high school, and at one point, because I'm an army brat, and that's what you do, is we moved. And so we moved from Whitehorse to Edmonton, and she was distraught. She looked out the window and everything was strange. She was an indoor-only cat, but she always wanted to go outside, and suddenly she was terrified of the entire outside world because she couldn't identify these things called cars and such like that because we lived in a remote area. So one day, though, the curiosity got the better of her, and she managed to get outside and no one noticed. So I go to bed, and usually when I go to bed, Tribble would just climb on top of me, and that would be that. But all I hear is tap, 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 tap at the window, tap, tap, tap. And me, having gone from a city of 18,000 to a city of over 1 million, I'm just sitting there going, what is going on? Is there someone inside?
Yeah.
And I look over, and there's these two lamp-like eyes just staring in the window at me, and I screamed. And the cat jumped and freaked out and managed to ram her head so hard into my window that she bounced off, fell down, and scared herself again.
Oh.
And I went outside, found the cat as she just continuously went from seeing something, getting frightened of it, seeing her own tail, which was bright white at the end and therefore looked kind of lit up, and getting frightened by it.
Yeah.
So running into something else.
I thought this wasn't a concussion story.
I didn't have a concussion at
She
the
didn't
end of
have
it.
one. Yeah.
And it was very embarrassing for the poor cat. And then I took her in, and then she wouldn't leave me alone.
We are still climbing here.
Oh my.
We're less than 10K away from the next hour.
Wow.
We're less than $500 away from 70K shift total.
Wow.
This is exciting. You got something you're prepping over there, Gene?
I'm trying to find... So there was a video that I took of one of our cats, Annika, who is no longer with us. Not because of the story I'm about to tell. Trying to get...
Thank you for specifying.
Yeah, trying to get a piece of chocolate biscuit out of a bag on our counter and getting the bag stuck on his head.
Yeah.
And I filmed it and then sold it, licensed it to break.com for $400 or something like that.
Not bad.
But it's really funny, and I can't find it.
Nice.
So I'm just trying to see if I can track that. track that down because that's my favorite. My cat's an idiot
I have
story.
a little embarrassing cat story. So we had a cat named Delta, and he was a little tabby. And I was a single mom living in the middle of nowhere in Ontario, and we had some social worker come to the house to interview me to see if I was eligible for, aid. And I missed it totally because Bill was like a year and all over the place and making a mess. Meanwhile, my daughter had picked up the cat and stuck it in the garbage can, and was Penelope's age, was nonchalantly leaning on the lid of the garbage can. And I don't get it because I'm paying attention to this guy asking me all these questions, and this toddler is running around causing problems. So eventually, all hell breaks loose. And I call Krista over, and the cat comes popping out of the garbage can covered in garbage. He was pretty embarrassed.
Emily's story reminded me, I never had cats, but I had a hamster named Tribble. It was a teddy bear hamster.
That's a good name.
Yeah. And there's Tribble and her brother Zot were my two hamsters.
Oh wow, I found them.
And Zot was I don't know how hamster dynamics work in their society or whatever, but he was kind of a loser as a hamster. They were teddy bear hamsters, and one of Tribble was a big fat hamster, short-haired teddy bear, and Zot ended up being a long-haired teddy bear hamster.
Okay.
I guess however the genetics worked, but he was incredibly skinny with really long hair, and so if he ever got wet or anything, he would just turn into half the hamster that he was before. And he just had bad. One time he escaped from his cage, and we spent like a whole day looking around for him because we could hear him scrabbling. So we thought he was in the walls or something.
Oh.
And we were like, oh no. And we finally found him in the bottom of the trash, of the little trash bag, right beside his cage. He had literally come out, escaped from his cage, taken 3 steps, and fallen into a little trash bin.
Oh man!
And that's where he had been the whole time.
Wow.
He just had bad luck as a hamster.
Okay.
But he was super cute.